I'm going to begin, Justin, by asking, I mean, it's obviously a big challenge in coming into a franchise that's already got a kind of established tone. I was wondering how you found the kind of balancing between appeasing the kind of fans who are already there and kind of maintaining that same kind of feeling the franchise already has, and yet implementing your own kind of sensibilities as a filmmaker.
Well, first of all, Star Trek, I think, is the only unique property in cinematic history that has thrived in multiple mediums. So I felt like Star Trek should be equally compelling in a space war as it should be in maybe just two characters talking in a room. And so it has limitless possibilities. And also because it's existed 50 years, it's had many gatekeepers, For me, it was just trying to find the appropriate journey for at least this chapter, and it became very clear that, it really, at least with Star Trek Beyond, I felt like it was time to maybe deconstruct some of the themes and some of the philosophies that we've taken for granted. And hopefully, by doing that, it reaffirms why there's so much passion, why we've loved it for 50 years. And I think that it's a worthy contribution to its legacy.
Why do you think it is? I mean, like you said, it's one of the kind of longest standing franchises and across a variety of mediums. I mean, what do you think it is about this particular universe that's just managed to kind of touch the kind of imaginations of so many people?
I can speak firsthand from my experience. I started watching Star Trek, the original series, with my family when I was 8. And we had just recently immigrated to the States, so for me it left a strong impression because I really got the sense of family through this crew of various backgrounds as they go through this shared journey. And I realized family doesn't have to be just by blood. It's through this experience together. And at the same time, I experienced it through the rerun. So every night there was a new discovery, a new sense of exploration. And I think it's that, with this group of people and always pushing forward and exploring, that I think is what makes Star Trek so special.
And as a kind of a big fan yourself, I mean, did you find that you had to find a distance between the fan and the director in this instance, or did actually the two go hand in hand?
I think, I was part of the Fast and Furious franchise, and then when I first signed on to that, I didn't know anything about cars, but I wanted to make sure that I respected people whose passion were cars, just as much as, I think if anything, I'm much closer to Star Trek because there's a love of Star Trek in me. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of get more context. So I really kind of did immerse myself. I talked to, people who some livelihoods were Star Trek, whose passion is Star Trek. And that really gave me a sense of scope of what Star Trek means to people. And I wanted to, at the end of the day, have those people, if they come and watch it, really kind of enjoy it on that level. But at the same time, I feel like Star Trek is for everybody. I think especially with this Star Trek Beyond, it's their journey is actually very organically built with a lot of action set pieces, but at the same time, a lot of it's an ensemble character piece too, and that's something that I think somebody who hadn't seen Star Trek at all, could step in and get.
And do you think that it's that at the moment this film is sort of quite important? Because I mean, there's lots of kind of fiction in the world, in particular in the US and in the UK at the moment. I mean, do you think that we need a film of this nature where the overriding message is kind of coming together for the greater good?
Especially now, I think so. I've always felt like Star Trek, it always, through all its obstacles and missions, it always left you with a sense of hope, and I think especially what's happening, right now and around us, it shows that we're flawed and we're going through issues. But I like to believe that there is hope in us as a society.
And of course, one of the it's always been very inclusive. I mean, obviously now in this instance, Sulu is obviously an openly gay character. I mean, how important was it for you that this wasn't a kind of key plot device? And it was just something that just kind of happens in the background. In a way, that's almost more progressive, isn't it? That it's just not even it's not even really discussed.
That's exactly, and that's how I felt. When I talked to Simon Doug about it, I felt like how we handle it was going to be very important, because to me personally, it's a non-issue. It's been overdue. To be, just to even spend slice of life moments with all our characters. As a fan, I felt like that was overdue. And so when it comes to that moment, it's a non-issue, and that's the way I felt like it was important. That's the way we should portray it.
And can you see yourself doing more sort of Star Trek films in the future? Has that been discussed yet? Are you going to wait to sort of see how this one plays out before those conversations take place?
This one, when I signed up, logistically it was going to be a challenge, and I'm really proud of the people and everybody that's been part of this, because it's just been built on passion, and it's been relentless, in the greatest way. And I've done enough sequels to know that it's you don't ever assume it. It's something that you earn, and it's a privilege. And I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Like I've had such a great time, and I would do it because I love the people that I got to work with. I love the fact that this is a universe that you can take it's anywhere you want, So, but right now I just want to kind of enjoy this, and if that conversation comes up, I'd be happy to have it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,